I tried.
There's definitely an uptick in cost.
You're right.
I'm a country boy, so that's one way to get rid of Carolina.
Well, I found a lot of turning out.
2661.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just loving it.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing real well.
Yeah. Good.
So we went out to eat to Olive Garden.
Now, where's his home? Where's he live?
He has a mobile home in Weatherford.
I see those campers all the time. It's like, always seem like they have Indiana plates. I guess that's like a manufacturing or something.
She hadn't got her sweater.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, September the 26th, 2022. I'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us online via live stream. We certainly appreciate your attendance at our council meeting this evening. At this time, I'm going to call on our City Secretary, Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Ms. Page?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Harp?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
We do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Council Member Mary Hart. If everyone will please stand.
Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come before you this evening, knowing that you have all power in your control. Father, we ask that we will have a productive council meeting this afternoon, that we will make decisions that will be helpful to each one that's concerned. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Just a few announcements to make this evening. Our upcoming council meetings for the month of October will be held on Monday, October the 10th and Monday, October the 24th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. In reference to parks and recreation events, on October the 1st, Cast for Kids will be held at Bringle Lake Park West. October 6th, the Durskin Hospice Senior Day Out will be held at Spring Lake Park. On October the 13th, Movies in the Park will be held at Spring Lake Park, and the feature will be The Lost City. And then on October the 15th, the Alzheimer's Awareness Walk will be held at Spring Lake Park. And the Movies in the Park will have concessions, and we'll start the movie at dusk. And so that's always a good family outing. Hopefully the weather will get a little cooler for these upcoming movies. And also want to remind everyone that next Wednesday, October the 4th, we will have our annual National Night Out program. We have had to have this program postponed for the last couple of years due to COVID-19, but I'm very pleased to share that we will be kicking off our National Night Out program next next Tuesday. Did I say Wednesday?
You did.
I apologize. Next Wednesday. Next Tuesday. October the 4th, that is on a Tuesday. So that will be, we'll have block parties that will be held around the city. It's a great opportunity for families to get together in their neighborhoods, to meet their fellow neighbors and to meet new neighbors that or new families in their neighborhoods. Also to receive some very good information from our police department, our fire department, and also waste management will have officials available to provide information to residents. And so I encourage our citizens to get together and to attend a block party. And council members always do a great job of going out and attending those National Night Out block parties in their wards. I have several that I try to make each year as well. And so just look forward to this event next Tuesday, October the 4th. Times may vary between block party. Traditionally, it's usually maybe 6 to 8, but bless you. There may be some beginning earlier than 6 o'clock or maybe extended after 8, but certainly would like to encourage everyone to attend a National Night Out block party. At this time, I want to have refer to a special presentation. If you came in this evening, you may have noticed that we have some new landscaping here at City Hall. It's very, very beautiful as we continue our efforts to beautify the downtown area. And I'd like to provide some very special recognition this evening. We would like to recognize a major donation through the city's Adopt a Spot program for landscaping around City Hall. The project was made possible by Studio 230 and generously sponsored by the Callaway and the Patterson families. We would like to recognize the Callaway and Patterson families at this time and thank them for not only promoting beautification at City Hall, but also throughout our entire community. So we have Dr. Chad Patterson and his family. We also have Brian Calloway. And so I want to ask you all if you would please come up to the front. And we have a special sign that we'd like to take a picture. And then if you all have anything that you would like to share, you're welcome to do so. And we just very generously thank you for your assistance in beautifying not only Texarkana, but in this instance, City Hall. So thank you all very much. I'm going to step down for just a moment. First of all, anybody like to say anything?
I'm Brian Calloway. I own Studio 230. These are my brothers and sisters, my brother-in-law Chad. And we were just fortunate enough to be a part of this program. It's something I know Texarkana is pushing pretty hard right now. And so we wanted the opportunity to kind of lead the way and maybe encourage others to take part in the Adopt a Spot. And that's about it. We're very happy to be a part of it, and we're very proud of it. So thank you.
Anybody else have anything? Think you're good? Okay. Represented you well, didn't he? Well, once again, on behalf of the city, thank you all very much for your assistance and your hard work in beautifying our beautiful landscaping out front. It really enhances our city, and I know Councilmember Williams, she's always on the top of beautification, and especially in the downtown area, which is a part of her ward, being Ward 3, and so we certainly appreciate you all's help very much. Okay, all right. At this time, we'll move along to our open forum, comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience this evening who would like to address the council, you are welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak on any matter. If you are here this evening, however, and you're wanting to speak on behalf of one of our public hearing items, then I would ask that you please wait until we get to that particular public hearing item. We'd be more than happy to listen to your comments at that time. We also encourage you to fill out one of the yellow sheets that's on the rack there by the door so that we'll have a written record of your presence this evening. So, Ms. Evans, did you receive any sheets? You did not? Okay. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? All right. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, we'll move along to our appointments to boards and commissions and committees. Do we have any appointments to boards, commissions, or committees this evening from the council?
I've got a couple, Mayor.
Mr. Davis?
Brad Bailey for Planning and Zoning, moving from alternate to regular member. Definitely want to give George Merrill thanks for filling that spot, but he has since moved. And then staff recommendation for the community health care of David Watkins.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Are there any others this evening? Okay. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for approval of those two names that have been submitted this evening. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams and a second by Councilmember Harp. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, these appointments have...
Abstain.
Okay, Ms. Evans, roll call, please.
Ms. Page? Yes. Ms. Matlock?
Abstain.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Harp?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Okay, the motion does pass. I want to certainly thank Mr. Watkins. You're in the audience this evening. Thank you for being here this evening, sir. Look forward to your service. And I also want to thank Brad Bailey, who's been serving as an alternate with our Planning and Zoning Commission. As Mr. Davis mentioned, George Merrill has served on the Planning and Zoning Commission for many years, and I would like to thank him for his service. He has recently relocated outside the city, or will be very soon. And so we want to thank Mr. Merrill for his service as well. This time move along to items for consideration in reference to our consent agenda. We do have 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on September 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Item 2, consider approval of the minutes of the special joint meeting of the City Council held on September 13th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Item 3 is resolution number 2022-091, authorizing the city manager to execute a one-time agreement with Half Associates, Incorporated of Shreveport, Louisiana, in an amount not to exceed $154,900, with funds budgeted from a 2019 SRTS/TA Call for Projects grant to supply the design, surveying, and drawings for the Kennedy Lane Sidewalk Project with the Texas Department of Transportation. Unless the council member would like to pull one or more items for further consideration, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion for approval?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page and a second by Councilmember Williams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We do not have any action items scheduled this evening, so we'll now move along to first briefings. Item number 1 is ordinance number 2022-103, granting a specific use permit to allow a tattoo studio and art gallery on an approximate .13 acre tract of land being tract 231, Thomas Price Headright Survey, A-466, located at 3427 New Boston Road. Alfred Smith, owner, and Kara May, agent. We'll have a public hearing on this item as well as the other items on our first briefings. Public hearings are scheduled for October 10th at our next meeting, and council vote that same night. We'll have Michelle Daniel to provide us with a briefing on this item. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for a specific use permit to allow a tattoo studio and art gallery at 3427 New Boston Road. The request for a specific use permit is to allow the one additional use of a tattoo studio. The applicant will also be opening a t-shirt and decorating cup business at this location. The adjacent zoning is planned development office to the west, general retail to the south and east, and commercial to the north. The adjacent land usage is businesses to the north, south, east, and west. And the future land use map designates this property as regional commercial. Staff and Planning and Zoning do approve this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Any questions for Michelle relating this item? Okay, very good. We'll now move along to item number 2. Ordinance number 2022-104, granting a specific use permit to allow the location of a HUD code manufactured home on lots 5 and 6, Block 2, Grandview Edition, located at 2809 Finley. Sandra Carroll, owner. Michelle?
Good evening. This is a request for a specific use permit for a single-wide HUD code manufactured home at 2809 Finley. This is currently vacant land. The adjacent zoning is single-family 3 to the south, east, and west, and single-family 2 to the north. The adjacent land use is vacant land to the south, east, west, and north. The future land use map designates this property as neighborhood residential. And Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Michelle? All right, very good. Item number 3, ordinance number 2022-105, rezoning and amending PD-79-8, C as in Charles, on an approximate 1.01 acre tract of land being tract 219, Thomas Price Headright Survey, A-466, located at 2315 North Robinson Road, requesting the planned development to be removed at this location and rezoned from commercial to single-family 2. Veronica Hernandez, owner. Michelle?
Good evening again. So this is a request for the planned development to be removed from the 1.01 acre tract of land located at 2315 North Robinson Road, and that the zoning be changed from commercial to single-family 2. This property was previously a package mailing facility. The adjacent zoning is planned development general retail to the south, planned development commercial to the west. single-family 2 to the east and multiple-family 1 to the north. The adjacent land use is a post office to the south, office to the west, and residential to the north and east. The future land use map has designated this property as mixed-use development. The applicant will be bringing the residents up to residential code and using as a home. Staff and Planning and Zoning recommend for approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions on this item? Okay, we'll now move to item number 4, ordinance number 2022-106, granting a specific use permit to allow permanent cosmetic procedures and tattooing on lots 2 and 3, Block 5, Richmond Development, 4th Subdivision, located at 4401 Corporate Drive. Timothy Reynolds, Domination Properties, owner, Tammy Roten, agent. Michelle?
So this is a request for a specific use permit to allow permanent cosmetic procedures or tattooing at 4401 Corporate Drive. This location is currently Healthcare Express Dermatology and Age Management. The adjacent zoning is planned development, general retail to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land usage is businesses to the north, south, and east, and vacant land to the west. This request does meet all the city requirements to allow the one additional use of a tattoo studio on this property. And so staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this one? Okay, moving along to item 5, ordinance number 2022-107, rezoning the west half of Lot 19, Block 4, Red Cut Heights, located at 2503 Sugden, from single-family 2 to single-family 3. Charles Antoine, owner. Michelle?
Good evening again. These next 4 items are related. So this is a request to rezone the west half of Lot 19, located at 2503 Sugden Street, from single-family 2 to single-family 3. The property is currently vacant land, and the proposed use is a HUD code manufactured home. The adjacent zoning is single-family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land use is vacant land to the north, south, and east, and a residence to the west. There are other lots in this area that are zoned SF3 with specific use permits, and so therefore staff and Planning and Zoning do approve this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this item? Okay, item number 6, ordinance number 2022-108, granting a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home on the west half of Lot 19, Block 4, Red Cut Heights, located at 2503 Sugden. Charles Antoine, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request for a specific use permit to allow the location of a single or double wide HUD code manufactured home on the west half of Lot 19, located at 2503 Sugden Street. This is currently vacant land. The adjacent zoning is single-family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land use is vacant land to the north, south, and east, and a residence to the west. The future land use map designates this property as industrial. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this one? Okay, item number 7, ordinance number 2022-109, rezoning Lot 18, Block 4, Red Cut Heights, located 2503 Sugden, from single-family 2 to single-family 3. Mary Antoine, owner, and Termaine Richardson, agent. Michelle?
So this is a request to rezone Lot 18, located at 2503 Sugden Street, from single-family 2 to single-family 3. The property is currently vacant land, and the proposed use is a single or double-wide HUD code manufactured home. The adjacent zoning is single-family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land use is vacant land to the north, south, and east, and a residence to the west. Staff and Planning and Zoning have recommended for approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on item 7? All right, item 8, ordinance number 2022-110, granting a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home on Lot 18, Block 4, Red Cut Heights, located at 2503 Sugden. Mary Antoine, owner, and Termaine Richardson, agent. Michelle?
So again, this is a request for a specific use permit to allow the location of a single or double-wide HUD code manufactured home on Lot 18, located at 2503 Sugden Street. This is currently vacant land. The adjacent zoning is single-family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land use is vacant land to the north, south, and east, and a residence to the west. The future land use map designates this property as industrial. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this item? Okay, we'll now move along to item number 9, ordinance number 2022-111, rezoning Lot 3, Block 19, Rose Acres Annex, located in the 500 block of South Bishop Road, from Single Family 2 to Industrial 1. Alex Scott Tipton, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request to rezone Lot 3 located in the 500 block of South Bishop Road from Single Family 2 to Industrial 1. The property is currently vacant land, and the proposed use is a driveway for overflow parking. The adjacent zoning is Industrial 1 to the north, east, and west, and Single Family 2 to the south. The adjacent land use is a business to the north, vacant land to the east and west, and a residence to the south. The future land use map does designate this parcel as industrial. The applicant owns the business located at 4401 Waco Street, and so therefore he wanted to put a driveway there, and he proposes to put a privacy fence along the south side of the property adjacent to the residence. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Michelle on this item? Okay. Item number 10 is ordinance number 2022-112, amending PD-99-1C as in Charles, for site plan approval to allow the construction of a metal building on lots 19C and 19D. Carrie D. Hart's First Edition, located at 704 Piney Road. Eddie Stevens, owner. Michelle?
So as you said, this is a request for site plan approval located at 704 Piney Road. The proposed use is a storage for building materials for the business located on the property. The adjacent zoning is planned development commercial to the north and single family 2 to the south, east, and west. The adjacent land use is a business to the north and vacant land southeast and Loop 151 to the west. The future land use map has designated this property as regional commercial. The site plan consists of the construction of a new 1,800 square foot metal building. The access will be from Piney Road, and a 35-foot pole sign will be allowed. Staff and Planning and Zoning recommend for approval of the site plan, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions on this item? All right, moving along to item number 11, resolution number 2022-114, declaring certain city property acquired for construction of city roads along University Avenue as surplus or excess, and approving an agreement with Pruitt Realty LLC for exchange of this city surplus property and purchase of property rented by the city located at 903 Elm Street. And Dusty Hensley is going to brief the council on this item. Good evening, Dusty.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. This item is related to a potential land swap for property vacant property that we currently own on Schillings Lane for the property at 903 Elm Street, which is next to our Fleet Services building. We've been renting this property for the past year and a half, and we've used it to help store extra vehicles and equipment for our Public Works Department, Fire Department, police, and things like that. We had originally planned to purchase this property, but when we got to talking with the owner, he was willing to work on a land swap if we had something of equal value for this. So years ago, we got these vacant lots along Schillings Lane for the future widening of Schillings Lane when it come about. So in your packet, I've got the appraisal value for the property at 903 Elm Street. There's also a letter from BCAS stating what the value of these lots are. And there's also like a property value comparison that shows 5 of our lots are equal value for what this property at 903 Elm Street would be. The intent would be to sell these properties off for future homes and hope to get that back on the tax rolls eventually. And it helps us with our storage facilities next to our fleet and Public Works Department. So we are proposing to do a swap for these properties. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions for Dusty on this item? Okay. Item number 12 is ordinance number 2022-115, amending the city's traffic register to establish changes in school zone speed limits on certain sections of State Highway 93, also known as Summer Hill Road. Dusty?
Basically what this is moving the north school zone for the high school further north to include the new addition to Tiger Drive for use into their facility. So that's all this is doing, is moving the school zone north a little bit farther.
Questions on this item?
I don't know offhand, but it's just right there, right up in front of the credit union.
Right in front of the credit union parking lot.
They've changed some of their access with Tiger Drive to help kind of get some of the traffic off Summer Hill, so this should help some.
Pardon me? Okay, all right. Any other questions on this item? Okay, thank you, Dusty. Appreciate it. This time, move along to our public hearing items this evening. We do have two public hearings scheduled. Item 1 is ordinance number 2022-100, adopting and approving a 10-year water and sewer rate structure and scheduled increases of water and sewer rates per the New Gen Strategies and Solutions Water and Sewer Rate Study. We'll have a public hearing on this item this evening, as well as council consideration. And at this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. And first to speak this evening is Gary Smith, the Executive Director of TWU. Gary, thank you for being here, and he has some information to provide to the council. Good evening,
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council. We just wanted to point out one thing that's in this, we're putting this ordinance. Not only does it include the rates increases that we're proposing for the next 10 years for the study, but it also gives the city manager the authority. We have approximately 11 wholesale contracts, and this will give the authority so that he can go in and renegotiate those contracts based on the rate study.
Okay.
I'll be glad to answer any questions. Anything else?
Questions for Gary on this item? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your being here this evening.
Yes, sir.
Public hearing is still open on this item. If there's anyone else who would like to address the council, please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone else coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harp. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, adopting and approving a 10-year water and sewer rate structure and schedule of increases of water and sewer rates beginning fiscal year 2022 to 23 and ending fiscal year 2031 to 32, amending the master fee list to reflect the water and sewer rates and fees of the 10-year water and sewer rate structure, suspending the operation of Section 42-52 of the Code of Ordinances, Consumer Price Index Rate Adjustments, directing the city manager to evaluate and activate rate and pricing adjustments in wholesale water supply contracts containing repealer and severability clauses, containing legislative findings, and establishing an effective date of October 1, 2022.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. We'll now move along to item number 2, ordinance number 2022-101, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Texarkana, Texas, Land Development Code, Chapter 140, Zoning, Article 8, Parking and Loading Regulations, Section 140-203, Parking Space Schedule. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Williams. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Texarkana, Texas, Land Development Code, Chapter 140, Zoning, Article 8, Parking and Loading Regulations, Section 140-203, Parking Space Schedule, by adding subsection 22, establishing minimum space per 50 units for self-storage units of less than or equal to 1,000 square feet, providing for publication and severability clauses, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. This concludes our public hearings portion of the meeting. At this time, we move along to, yes, I'm sorry, Gary, please come forward.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to tell everyone thank you. I know this wasn't an easy decision, especially in this day and time with costs as they are. I thank Dr. Orr and the advisory committee, and there's a lot of hours put in it, but I know ultimately it comes down to y'all, and we thank you very much for approving this, and we know it wasn't taken lightly. We thank you for everything. I just want to take that.
All right, thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate everything you do as well, and thank you for being here this evening. Okay. This time, move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
Mayor and council, just a few updates to pass along to you. First, tonight we have a transition with our Public Works and Fire Department administration teams. And so they'll be swapping offices over the next few weeks. Public Works admin will be located on the 4th floor here at City Hall to better assist with development services. And our fire admin will be moved to 919 Elm Street, closer to fleet services. So both phone extensions, contact information, everything will remain the same for those offices. Just want to make you aware of that. Just a quick recap of the Lake Rat Patman meeting that we had a few weeks ago. And this was with the State Historic Preservation Office and the Corps of Engineers. Overall, the meeting went very well. We also had representatives from the Caddo Nation there as well. And we were discussing the Cultural Resources Plan, and then also ongoing work at the lake to address looting issues related to the Caddo Nation. And so we'll continue to update you on this process, but it will be a multi-year process as we work through the efforts for the ultimate rule curve agreement. Airport topping out ceremony has been moved to this Thursday, September 29th, and that's confirmed at 10:30. So this is for, this marks the last structural beam that will be set in place. And so this is after the board meeting, regular scheduled board meeting for the airport authority. So if you're available, please come out on Thursday morning for that. Mayor, you mentioned the National Night Out. And I just wanted to mention, spoke with Sean Vaughn earlier today, and we have 17 block parties that are registered so far for the event, and so we expect even more. This is, of course, our first year back from COVID, so it's we've lost some block party participants, but we're gaining new ones, so that's a good thing. And just wanted to mention that you can register on the police department's webpage. It's a pretty easy form to fill out, or you can call 903-798-3114 to register your block party as well. So they're still taking registrations up through next week. And then finally, the Pro Theater fall season was announced here recently. And so just have information in your packet on the fall season, but you can see it's an exciting number of shows that are coming to the Pro this fall. They're on the screen. And again, more information can be found at the Pro website, or the box office is 903-792-4992. And just one last thing, I wanted to echo Gary's comments about thank you for the water study. I know that's been a big effort by our council and also by our Budget Advisory Committee, and we've worked tirelessly on that, so really appreciate your vote of confidence tonight. Okay. That's all.
Okay, all right. Thank you, David. Any questions for David? Okay, we'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening relating to the staff? Okay, and any final information from staff to council this evening? No? Okay, all right. This time the council will be going into closed session. City Council will convene into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, personnel matters, to discuss or deliberate the city manager's annual evaluation, duties, and goals. We don't anticipate any action to be taken. And so for everyone here and those watching on live stream, the council does not anticipate taking any action after closed session other than reconvening in open session and adjourning the meeting. And at this time, we will end the live stream. I'd like to once again thank all of you who are joining us this evening in the audience, as well as those who have been joining us live stream. We certainly hope you have a great evening. Thank you.
Miss Hooks told me she called you. I hope